And she was like, that's the biggest penis I've ever seen. I'm like, I know. That's why I took you to the Penis Museum, where tickets are $1,000. Hi. Silence. That was. I thought that was funnier. I guess not. Welcome to Downright Fierce Gaming. My name is Josh Asensio. With me is
me, Brandon Akers. Yeah,
and
Tristan Haynes.
We are a video game podcast. We release new episodes every Monday on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, and we do live streams, which you might be watching right now.
Thank you for watching.
Or you're just listening to this later. In which case, you should have watched the live stream. It was pretty good.
Thank you for listening.
We shared laughs. We kissed a little bit, and it was. We liked it. It was good.
We talked about a penis museum.
We did. We talked about a penis. Anyways, we're gonna start like how we always start with the news.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. We're gonna shake it up. We're gonna talk about the news first, whereas normally we talk about the news first. There's different inflections.
Let's do it.
You have to be like an audio technician to pick up the tiny differences between news and news. That's how I said it the second time. Anyways, Phil Spencer responded on Twitter about whether or not we'll ever see Fable 4. He said, nothing to announce right now, but I do think the IP has a lot of places it could go. So that's all I said. This is kind of news. It's kind of not. That doesn't tell us anything. That doesn't say that
there's much coming for E3. Winter is coming in Fable.
Definitely not going to see anything with Fable at E3. I'm willing to bet they're not even talking about this game. But Phil has no problem saying when something's dead. He'll be like, nope, no more. It's done. They shut down Lionhead.
Like Scalebound.
Like Scalebound, exactly. So, when they shut down Scalebound, it's like, okay, no more. It's dead. Never coming back. Scalebound's dead. But the fact that he said, there's a lot of things we can do with that. I think that's a very Phil response. And what we can take from that is probably not for like 5 to 10 years. They're going to wait till people forget about it. And then they're going to, I would imagine, reboot the franchise and maybe even start fresh. Maybe not even
the launching title for the Scorpio.
No.
It's way too soon for that.
Yeah,
Forecasting.
seriously.
Got it.
Do you want to make a bet on that one?
I'll bet that one.
Yeah, really? Pizza bet.
Pizza bet.
All right, the first ever pizza bet. You guys are witnesses. If they announce that Fable, I'll even give you that, any kind of Fable, except for remastering.
Oh, no, that doesn't count.
Remastering.
Totally
no, come on.
Absolutely. Fable's
because
coming back to the Scorpio.
No, okay, you know what? Fine.
But
remastering included. It has to be a launch though, because that's what you said.
Yep,
launch.
Launch.
Okay, launch. Any kind of Fable, anything with the name Fable on it, on the Scorpio, announced. Not just like, oh, hey, look, now all of a sudden you can play Fable on the Scorpio.
Microsoft, don't let me down.
It has to be
Phil.
deal. It has to be a new Fable. How about that?
Well, that defeats remastered.
I'm saying like, but remastered also. But I'm just saying like, not just that. Oh, you can now play 360 Fable. On the Scorpio.
I'm not gonna say it's a virtual console. No.
Okay, cool. All right, pizza bet.
Pizza bet.
It's going down.
Now, pizza.
let's say we fast forward 5 years.
Yep.
Phil Spencer goes, hey, we have a new Fable coming out. It could be Fable 4. It could be, just called Fable. What would we want from that game?
Oh, everything from the original Fable.
So Fable 1, not 2.
Fable 1.
Because a lot of people will say that Fable 2 is better than Fable 1. I disagree.
But they're a bunch of chicken chasers.
That's true. Don't have to bleep that out. What were you saying, Tristan?
I think Fable 2 expanded upon Fable 1. I'd want to see all the promises that Molyneux has made over the years in Fable.
Well, he wouldn't be working on it.
I know.
There was an interview recently where he talked about what he would need to redo that, but that it's too little too late because he's already working on like a bunch of different things. He actually has a new IP that he's coming out with that he's very excited to announce. I think he's announcing it at E3 or something. But he said that it's going to like change everything.
He always says that.
Yeah, he always says that. I mean, but look at that last one. What was it called? Curiosity?
There was the Goddess Nightmare where the kid won the thing and then they completely abandoned him and he hasn't heard anything since. No. I heard I actually listened to that interview today. They talked to him. It's gonna happen. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe he does say that all the time, but still, I would want from a new Fable. I would want something along the lines of like a Witcher game, but with the humor of
I was gonna
Fable.
Say, Fable, in my opinion, is what was the comedic side of Witcher.
Exactly.
And I think Fable 1 gave you a cartoony feel-esque. Like more
Not even
like,
esque. I mean, it was totally cartoony. I mean, the whole thing was silly.
And, well, I mean, the way that it was drawn out and played, everything, like the whole models, they're more balloony.
Exaggerated, and yeah.
And so, I mean, that was one of my favorite games for Xbox. It's actually...
It was dope.
Were
you good or evil?
Oh, always.
That's not an answer.
Yeah. I did what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it.
So,
I hit both sides of the spectrum.
Oh, so you're just fence rider.
Yep.
Cool.
I played through it a bunch of times, so I did all of them. I did like a only bow run, did a bunch of stuff.
Games like that, I always start good, and then the second playthrough, I'll go like totally evil. And I gotta say, evil in that game was so much fun. Getting the horns and all that, I like that. So in other news, THQ Nordic and Gunfire Games have announced that Darksiders 3 is currently in development and is scheduled to be released sometime in 2018 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This, of course, means it will come out in 2019. It will be set at the same time as the events of Darksiders 2, which I did not play, and will follow the new protagonist, Fury, who's apparently the main character's sister.
Yep, the third and the fourth horseman. As
she destroys unique physical versions of the 7 deadly sins. So, don't, because I didn't play Darksiders 2. It just, they say it's Zelda-esque, and I disagree.
I mean, I definitely disagree too. I mean, it's a mimic or, if anything, God of War, in my opinion. I mean, it's definitely building on some sort of mythology or ideology of that, and then it builds up into its own unique story. Save the world, save the
cheerleader, save the world.
That's what I was going to say. But, no, Fury, they already have gameplay out. I mean, there's actual gameplay that's been shown because it wasn't even a week ago.
Where did you see that?
On Facebook.
I didn't see any gameplay.
So they already have gameplay of an actual video gameplay of Fury running around with her whip, fighting several creatures. So, it's funny because that came out so quickly. Like, I'm thinking THQ kind of jumped in and said, "Hey, Amazon let it slip that this game's coming out already. We're gonna have to show something so that we can claim something to it." So
yeah, I think it was like the next day they did an exclusive with IGN, and then gave them the reveal.
Because it was not even last week. I think it was like 5 days ago. It got leaked on Amazon, and everybody was like, "Oh God, Darksiders 3, yes!"
I don't know. I played the first one, and halfway through, I was still at that like time in my life of gaming when I would finish a game no matter what, like, no matter how I felt about it. I'm like, I just got to finish this game, and I remember just hating it while I'm just like trudging through this game.
So did you start in Darksiders 2, not Darksiders 1?
No, I started with 1.
Okay.
I started with 1. It couldn't pull me in. And
how did you like the God of War series? All right, so it's a style of game. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Devil May Cry when it came out.
Devil May Cry is a very unique gem,
but now I don't like Devil May Cry.
I don't blame you because they did a lot of change to the new one. But
I mean, I think you hit it on the head with the style of gameplay, though.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there, and there's just so much to build. And the fact that they're keeping the story going, it took them a little longer than I was expecting for the third one to come out. But I thought they were leading up to it with the current re-releases that they've done with Darksiders 2.
That's right. They did the remastered.
They did.
Yeah.
And now they actually have them bundled. You can get them on PlayStation as the Fury edition or something like that, where it's 1 and 2 for a substantially discounted price. PlayStation's having a huge sale right now that ends on today, actually.
Oh, so they had.
So, it goes till midnight. You have time.
All right. If you're listening to the audio, though, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, at that point, you're over with.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you feel about Darksiders?
I played the first one for maybe a half hour. I can't remember what I abandoned it for. It wasn't anything about the game. It's always been on my backlog of things I need to go back and revisit because of how fondly people talk about it, but I don't really have much to say about it.
Maybe I'll try it again. I don't know.
It's because Fable 3 came out.
Yeah.
So next on the news is Ubisoft is doing something that is literally not all we know, but that's the extent of what we know. We don't know what they're doing. They're teasing us with images from Far Cry 3. On their Facebook page, the developer posted a picture of the game's Rook Island setting, along with a sentence in French, for some reason, that translated to... Oh, wait, they're Canadian, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, I just got that. French.
Although Ubisoft is also in multiple countries, too. But yes, They're based out of
Canada. So that's why they put it in French. I included that only because I'm like, maybe that's like, a teaser, maybe that's a hint, or I don't know. With a very cryptic message, they said, an island we never truly left. And then on its Instagram page, it added, does that remind you of something? The picture shows an island, and beneath the waterline, a giant skull that is basically like the underside of the island. And they also linked a picture of Far Cry 3 villain Voss, which is my favorite villain of all time. I love Voss. I freaking love Voss. What does it mean? What do you think?
Honestly, I have no idea because I never played the third Far Cry. I played the original Far Cry
For shame.
and loved the multiplayer, the map builder. The second Far Cry was...
I liked it.
It was
I know it's unpopular to say.
It was not as good as the first one.
I know,
it kind of moved away
I
from it.
replayed that game so many times.
And then the time Far Cry 3 came out, like 2 other games came out at the same time that were similar in genre, but...
Oh, Crysis.
Yes.
Crysis. I don't think it was the first one. It was
the second one, Crysis 2.
Or 2 or 3, one of those.
Crysis.
That was a fun game, too.
Yes.
That was amazing.
And I played the love out of that one.
You played the love out of it?
Oh, yes. I played it so long, so hard that I just stopped loving it.
So hard.
It was one of the best games to like test your graphics and everything. So I mean,
oh yeah, that's right. Far Cry is always not always. It used to be
Crysis.
Oh, Crysis. Sorry. Well, both of them. When Far Cry first came out, the biggest thing about original Far Cry was that the AI was the most advanced out of any first person. Actually, out of anything really. And I remember like seeing that was the first time I ever saw bad guys hide behind something and then try to flank me, which is pretty standard now. But to see that and be like, because normally it's just they're just standing out there like, I'm gonna kill you, and they just stand there and wait to get shot. But now they're like, oh my god, you're gonna kill me, and they hide, and then they're like, get around them. And I don't know why they're all rednecks now. It doesn't really make sense.
Didn't you know that Far Cry 3 was shot in Florida Georgia borderline?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So. Anyways, what I think this is going to be realistically, okay, so what I want is a new Far Cry 3 game, like, a prequel, sequel, a prequel because they're showing Voss. So it would be a prequel to Far Cry 3 to kind of maybe you play as him so you get more like screen time with him. That'd be amazing. That's what I want. What I think they're probably going to do is because that was the first giant hit that they had. Yeah, Far Cry 1 and 2 were, successful.
One was huge.
They were successful, but not. It wasn't a commercial hit. It wasn't huge.
It was.
I know it was great. I loved it. I'm not saying that it wasn't good, but Far Cry 3 was the first like major like giant hit that they had. So I would imagine that they're going to go back to it and just kind of remaster everything. That's the other thing. Like I think that's the second option. I think they're probably going to do something like that. Although I would love to see a new game.
What I'd also like to see?
These nuts.
I was going to go with the whole new game, but yeah. It'd be nice to see a new IP from Ubisoft. It's been a minute. Like a big, solid new one.
Wait.
They're going to be rebooting Assassin's Creed here within another year or so.
They got I was going to say they're going to have Egypt.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Egypt, and then before that, Ubisoft did The Division. Again, didn't they?
I enjoyed that. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
That's going for $20 right now too.
That's another Tom Clancy game.
Yeah,
I want a original.
Dude, Ubisoft is amazing. They're easily one of my favorite game companies
they keep building instead of creating.
What do you mean?
They keep building off of their previous story, previous ideas, previous success.
So does everybody.
I know.
It's very rare that somebody will take a risk.
That's not true. Square Enix does do new stuff.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 15.
They build off their old stuff, but they do new stuff as well. And
look how big of a hit those are. I'm not saying that they're not good games. I'm saying that they're not giant hits. The giant hits are the every year Call of Duty. It's the Battlefields. It's the Far Cries. It's because people want something that they're familiar with. These games are giant hits, so that's why most game companies...
Quit being drones, people. Want new stuff. Demand original content.
That's the thing, though. People have to speak with their money, and they're just not. Nobody is. The majority of the consumers of games are 13-year-old kids who... maybe not even. I'm just making that.
That's completely. Don't speak any.
It's not, the majority of the people that purchase games do not watch this. They don't care about what goes into a game. They don't care about the announcement. They go into a GameStop and they say, hey, a new Far Cry, awesome, Far Cry 4, Far Cry 5, whatever. Like, they see that, they recognize it, they buy it. New Metal Gear Solid, now with zombies, hell yeah! They have no idea what happened. They don't know who Kojima is.
That's
like they go a new one, cool, sad. And they'll buy it. That's why, freaking the new Metal Gear Solid is probably going to sell a lot. What is it, Survive or?
I mean, the new Metal Gear Solid is going to sell a lot because the last one did really well. I mean, it was actually, they built onto something new.
But you know what's happening with the new one, right?
No idea.
You don't know?
Nope.
Isn't it just like a horde mode kind of thing?
It's a zombie survival
then they're gonna fail. Continue.
In the Metal Gear Solid world.
Tristan, how do you feel about all this?
And Kojima is gone, dude. Kojima's not with.
Well, I know Kojima's gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
He would never let that happen. He would never do that to us. I trust in Kojima.
When can I get another Splinter Cell? Okay, let's get a Splinter Cell. Cool. If Ubisoft's gonna do some crap, let's get some Splinter Cells.
You just said you didn't want another Tom Clancy.
I know. I don't care.
You've been flip flopping all night. And
have you not met me? I mean, this is
before the podcast, but like he's been flip flopping all night. I mean, it is summer. Tristan, I feel like you've been trying to talk about Far Cry 3, and we've just been talking over you.
I mean, it's another one that I missed the boat on. I guess Horizon was really my first Far Cry game. That's what I've heard people compare it to. I know it's not actually a Far Cry game, but...
Wait, Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, as far as gameplay
nothing.
style.
No.
Really?
Nothing.
No.
Complete opposite directions.
Huh.
Like, there's nothing about that game that's Far Cry.
I mean, there's... Nope.
There's
Nope. Oh, there's bows in both games.
In Primal, maybe.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So there's bows.
Okay, so you have that. There's guns. Oh, the sky is blue in that game. That is true. They both have blue skies.
That's true.
And they're both very pretty.
I mean,
so
in
you
theory,
missed out on Far Cry 3.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't played any games whenever I come on this podcast.
That's crazy. Like, that's one of the...
Let's try this once. For the next lineup, let's get Tristan to write like 4 things he wants to talk about. And let's go based off of that.
Okay. All right. Well... Let's
go what we're doing next week. Let's worry about this week.
Let's stop talking about things we're going to talk about outside of the podcast. Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia? I don't know. Releases for the 3DS on May 19th. The game will receive five DLC packs, which can be purchased separately, but players can opt to save over 30% by purchasing them together for, drumroll, $45.
$5 more than the game.
The game costs $40.
Sorry, I stole that one from you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We said it twice for emphasis. What? How? Why? And when?
Okay.
Well, maybe not when.
To be fair.
Who?
Okay, I'll play devil's advocate on this one right off the get-go. There are season passes for several thousands of games already. All the Call of Duties have them. Yes, they're only $30. I think the highest one was $40 for a season pass for any of the Call of Duties. That was Black Ops 3. And it gave you access to 4 maps throughout the year.
Okay, so yeah, you're not getting much content, but...
Okay, but...
Still, man.
Here you go. Let me go for it all. You're paying $60 for an original game. So yes, you're looking at 60 plus 40.
No, 45 plus 40.
No, I'm talking about the other games.
Oh, the other games. Okay, yeah.
So 60 plus 40, you're looking at $100 for a game. What Nintendo is promising is the game itself, which is going to have a significant amount of playtime, and all of the Fire Emblems have multiple replayabilities. The fact that you can do so many different things each time you go through it has been amazing. Each one of the DLCs, all 5 of them, so if you take 5 divided by 45, that's $9 per DLC.
Approximately. I mean, some of them vary in price, but
right.
Oh, and also that's discounted.
Right.
That's
so I mean, we'll assume each one's normally $12 per download. Okay, if you buy them individually, which is not far off from season passes. Season passes are normally $15 a piece. Each one of the DLCs for the maps and stuff like that is $15 a piece. So mathematically, it's still the same. Yes, the original game is $40. But the content that's supposed to be in the DLC is supposed to surpass the game itself.
So, is this just a sneaky way of selling an $85 game?
No.
Because it sounds like it.
Because it's a clever way to sell 2 games. In the sense, because all the DLC is supposed to build so much story and so much more characters and so much more playability that's going to add to the original game.
What are the chances then that the ending doesn't really have an ending unless you purchase this DLC?
Oh, I'm sure that there's going to be an ending.
Okay. I'm just curious on that.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like Fire Emblem. I have a very rare 2007 copy of Radiant Dawn. That's like pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm really jealous about that.
It's so rare.
Thank you.
So I mean, it's a good game. It's not like this is, some Call of Duty game, which I know we knock, but still, like, that's.
You want to hear what I'm sad about?
I mean, it's more than the game. It's more than the game.
By $5. And it's $5 more for 5 downloads over the course of a year.
That's the thing too. It's not even coming out at the same time.
Sounds like longevity.
That's the definition of a season pass. You get access to everything through the whole season, compared to, hey, download this once because it's only coming out once.
All right.
Plus, isn't this going to be the last Fire Emblem on the 3DS?
Hopefully. I mean, it would be really nice if Nintendo just changed their mind and put it on both systems so I can play it on the Switch. Please.
I mean, that could kind of buffer the wait
really
time.
Microphone on that one.
No, it's all
really
good.
expressing the fact that I want it on the Switch.
I have to turn down your mic if you're going to talk that close to it. I don't know. That's cool. Cool story.
No, come on. You were so upset about it.
Oh, did you see that? This is gonna suck for the audio, but like it just went really out of focus. I turned on autofocus because you were really blurry the last episode.
Oh, fair enough.
But,
well,
whatever.
If anything else, the people that are watching it live, right when you're like, it's $40.
Maybe.
I watched. I was laughing.
I got nothing. I got nothing. It's good for you, Fire Emblem.
So much for that.
I just don't buy it.
I just that's the thing. I guess I'm being a bad host. I couldn't. I'm trying to get the right expression. I couldn't care less. Like I really couldn't.
Could not.
I was never gonna buy this game, so I can't even look at this. I just look at it as game costs $40, and this DLC thing costs more than the game. That's the only thing I can really see about that.
I mean, I have a 3DS. I did not buy Birthright. I feel bad about it because I love all the other games and I have all the other games, but I haven't picked up my 3DS in a year. And so I don't feel like running out and buying it. And I'm really sad because I wanted the bigger screen. I wanted the portability of the Switch to be useful to me, and Fire Emblem would have been the one that would have taken it away from me. Or took it with me. I would have gone, take it away, Fire Emblem, go.
All right. So moving on, Polygon released a 19-minute exclusive video of Phantom Dust HD re-release gameplay. It looks great, looks just like the old game, but with better frame rate and more polished graphics. Now, I was talking to these two about Phantom Dust. Neither one of them have... You never even... Well, you heard about the name,
nope.
But you've never seen it, and I showed them gameplay. What did you think after I showed you that gameplay? Does that look like... Did I blow your mind at all? I mean, I know it's kind of weird to not be actually playing it, just look at YouTube videos. But I mean, this game is like one of the best hidden gems.
Dueling mages was very... I mean, that from my understanding of the game, it's you pick up items, treat them as cards, just like in Final Fantasy VIII, and you cast spells at each other in a PvP road is the map that we saw. There wasn't very much movability and things were kind of sluggish. So...
Well, it's not like really fast-paced. You're supposed to think about every single movement that you're making.
Right, but I mean, I'm thinking... Like, I have a lot of hope for this new game because it does look like an amazing concept. At the time, I'm sure that it was absolutely...
Well, it's still unique. There's not a single game like it.
Oh, strongly.
Not a single one. And the thing is, it kind of looks like they're testing the waters to see how the community responds, and if people buy this game, then there could be sequels.
So is it going to be an HD re-release, or is it going to be a...
It's an HD re-release. They're not remaking anything. They were going to, and then I'm imagining, because that's the thing. You two are gamers. You've never even seen the game, and that's kind of the market that they're going into. So they're not going to risk putting extra money into remaking or remastering, or remastering or whatever. They're not going to build anything. They're just going to be like, okay, let's just polish a turd. Well, it's not a turd. Polish it up, make it nice and shiny again, and then just push it out there like poop.
You're referring to this game as Turtle.
Yeah, it's not turd. I really like this game. I don't want to say anything bad about it.
I mean, I'm excited to see it. Hopefully it has a lot more options than what the gameplay saw. And I'm sure there is, because I mean that was like a 2-minute video.
Yeah, no, you set up these decks, and they're like 500 or 200, something like that. Like a whole bunch of moves that you can do, with varying complicated stuff. It's fun. We'll play it. It'll be good. And then last piece of news: Mario plus Rabbids, as in what is it? Raymond's Rabbids, the little minion things. I hate that I just made that comparison. According to Kotaku, will be coming out for Switch this year. It's a crossover turn-based RPG with local co-op from Ubisoft and Nintendo. The game will feature a total of 8 playable characters, including Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi, as well as 4 Rabbids dressed up as Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi.
So they're not even going to have their ears?
Well, I mean, it's going to be... Maybe they're going to have... no, they're probably going to have a hat. They're going to have, like, little hats, and then...
Touch base with me on this. Is this a mini game?
No, it's a turn-based RPG, so it's a role-playing game.
Okay, so there will be a story.
There will be a story, yeah.
In its own little universe.
Yeah. So, Nintendo has talked about this in the past. They've said that they want to open up their IPs to third-party developers to try to bring some of those developers back to Nintendo. And this looks like this is going to be the first game where, like, we're actually seeing that come to life. We kind of talked about this last week, and I'm wondering how you guys feel about the fact that, Ubisoft, maybe eventually Activision, all these companies, these third-party developers having access to these IPs, like, Zelda, Link, things like that, what are you doing? This is so distracting.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about that?
So, go ahead, Tristan. You just have to talk first.
Good on them for doing it. I'm very surprised that they are willing to take this step. I don't know if that's the best combination to start out with if you're trying to test the waters. Well,
apparently Rabbids are, and it's so weird to say like Rabbids. Rabbids are really popular in Europe and like France. Like there's like been like a movie or like a TV series. I want to say that. Birds? Yeah, I want to say they even have like a theme park or something. Like Rabbids are huge there. They're like minions here.
Okay.
And so I think that's why maybe that they're doing that. But still, like it's, I don't know. I feel like I'm happy and I'm not, because you're mashing up these two worlds and that's cool, but at the same time, once the project gets approved, it's gonna happen. Like Nintendo's not gonna just be like, "Hey, you made a subpar game. We don't want this out on the Nintendo," because their third-party relations are very, very bad right now. Like nobody wants to make games for Nintendo, so they kind of have to let these games come out.
Original PlayStation before PlayStation became PlayStation.
The Nintendo PlayStation?
Yeah, the one where Nintendo pulled the cord because they're like, "Nope, this is stupid."
Yeah.
Nintendo, I have a strong feeling, will pull the plug if they don't like what's coming out for the content.
Okay, so then they really screw up their third-party developer relations, and then they just die.
I don't think so. So this is going to branch into two conversations. I don't agree with you that if Nintendo at any time pulls a plug on any one manufacturer or any other publisher, I don't think it's going to kill the relations. The reason why is because people have been wanting this for so long.
Wait, so you're telling me that if Nintendo backs out of a $100 million freaking deal...
It won't ever be that big.
I don't think that Rabbids are $100 million.
That's true. That was a really big number. Okay, well, like a $50 million deal. I mean, that's a closer estimate to how much it takes to make a game. Games are expensive to make. So a $50 million deal, and they're like, nah. It's not like they can even release it on anything else. This only comes to Nintendo. Nah.
And so at that point, I think that the third-party team will have to just re-render whatever they were going to use and make a game out of it in some way, shape, or fashion, like they have done 1,000 times before.
That is possible, yeah.
And I think that they're just going to come up with another idea, or somebody else is going to step in with a better idea, because eventually, right now they're trying for the mix and match, which I think is a stupidest concept in the world.
Why? It sells.
We'll come back to that.
No. Let's. Okay. What do you have to say?
But I think that it's a bridge to somebody getting the rights to Mario saying, hey, I'm going to make Mario in the Unreal Engine. I'm going to make Link in an Unreal Engine. I'm going to increase the graphics and push the limits of the one story that we've wanted to see in the most beautiful aspect ever.
Yeah, but you can't. That's not going to run on a Switch. That's not going to happen.
I have a PC.
No. Nintendo is opening their IPs for the Switch
For now.
and for their...
I'm saying this is a bridge.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a pretty big reach right there. I mean, you're basically saying that
I'm not saying it's gonna happen in 5
Nintendo's going to
years.
lease out their IPs to make money on other people's consoles. I mean, the reason why you make a console is so people will play on your console.
Yep.
Great talk.
I don't see that happening. Going to PC.
Yeah, that's not going to
Well,
happen.
no, I don't see it going to PCs. And I'm just saying, like...
Oh, so then maybe
eventually it's gonna
Xbox.
open.
Maybe
Yeah.
Xbox, yeah.
Correct.
Come on. No.
I see it happening.
I will bet you $1,000 that you will never... No.
Is that 1,000
In 5
pizza?
or 10 years.
No,
How many years?
no.
I mean, I've already won.
No, I was gonna say because I've been saying that I want Nintendo to turn into a third-party developer. But as long as Nintendo is in the console market, they're not gonna let
as long
their
as they're-
IPs go to
yes.
another thing because then they have nothing. Why would you ever buy a Switch? Why would you ever buy a Switch?
Because it's an amazing system.
No, it's okay.
It's an amazing.
You buy it for the games, man.
Yeah, you buy it for the games.
And if you could get those games, but better on another system, come on.
Well, then yes, I would get them on another system. But
I mean, why do you think Microsoft
Again, I said
and Sony
5
fight
years.
for exclusives?
Do you imagine the Switch lasting 5 years? Do you imagine
It has
any
the
Nintendo
console
system?
life generation is typically 8 years. So
Only
it should.
recently.
Otherwise, it's only recently.
Yeah, originally it was 5 to 6 years, 4 to 6 years.
Okay. 1992, right? 1992 NES came out? No, it was like
God,
80. It was
forever ago.
80.
That was 83.
6. And then
There
the
you go.
SNES. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
So
We're doing this.
While you're doing that, we'll move past that part, but waiting for it. We're gonna wait for it. This is
No,
gonna be fun.
I mean it's because
so the crossbreeding of titles.
1983.
Oh! Sound effects.
Shut up. Shut up. Okay, so the SNES.
Sorry, that was really loud, listeners. Thank you for going through my patience on that.
You suck. 1990.
Okay.
So 7 years.
Okay.
In your face. Boom. What? Oh, DJ Siren. This is the conflict I've been waiting for. I've been saving a lot. Guys, we're called Downright Fierce. We need to have more conflict. We need to, argue. Now we're arguing, and it feels great.
It does. So, yeah. Continuing on.
So, so 8 years approximately is the life cycle for a console. So are you sitting here as a Nintendo fanboy telling me that the Switch isn't going to last 8 years?
I don't think it's going to last 8 years, no.
They got the new Switch 3DS.
XDL,
XDL, new.
With the 9-inch screen.
Yeah.
That comes from your wrist. Because
I mean, am I wrong, Tristan? I feel like that's saying that Nintendo is going to fail.
No. Oh, yes, Tristan, please.
I mean,
if they can't survive a typical... Again, remember, they're at the big boy table. Survive a typical console generation lifespan.
how long were the lifespans of the Wii and the Wii U?
Well, the Wii U shouldn't count.
I know the Wii U was...
No, Wii U totally counts.
Okay, well, then the Wii U was a failure, and definitely...
Yeah.
So then...
And Nintendo even agrees that it was a failure.
Okay, so I'm saying that why are you comparing it then? Because you're saying that it's gonna fail like the Wii U?
So, Xbox came out in 2000. And then Xbox 360 came out in 2006.
Okay,
No,
well,
2005.
no matter what, the new console generation thing is
the
8
Xbox
years.
One came out in
8 years. The new thing is 8 years.
Oh, who said that?
I say that.
Okay, because Sony didn't say that.
Oh, well, Sony and Microsoft have been abiding by the 8-year rule, and they just released a mid-cycle. They call it a mid-cycle 4 years after their, the PS4 and the Xbox One in your face. They called it a mid-cycle.
Oh, there we go. 2001 and...
What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm reading Chris. Chris is giving some trash talk about
Jeez, dude, focus. ADD boy.
I'm here. All right. So back to the IP titles, because that's what we're really focusing on today. Right.
I win. I'll just take that as a win.
Okay.
Well, okay, and now we were talking before we started, and you mentioned that I don't know how we're gonna get to this, so we're just gonna go right to it.
Segueing into it.
Kingdom Hearts. How you feel about that?
I think it was a terrible game.
What about Mushroom Kingdom Hearts?
I'm so not stoked for that game.
Wait, what's Mushroom Kingdom Hearts?
That's when Square Enix and Nintendo get together and then have a baby with Disney, and so
It's
next you're gonna see what's his name, Sora from Kingdom Hearts visit the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh,
because
okay.
that's going to be the next key that he finds from the Disney World.
I honestly I can't follow Kingdom Hearts with all these weird titles and all these like convoluted stories. I don't follow it. I don't get it. But right. I'm curious why you don't like the mashups so much. Because that's how we got onto that subject. We were talking about Mario and Rabbids.
The mashups is what's the problem.
And I mean you're grabbing two markets. So what's wrong with that?
So you're on a market wise, obviously sales wise, it's a huge success. My opinion in the storyboard world, you took a kid who lived on an island. I can't remember anything else past that part. He had a bunch of friends. And then one day he wakes up and he's holding a key. Something about Disney and Donald Duck and if you're chilling out there
but that's specifically Mickey. Kingdom Hearts. It's one thing if you don't like the story of Kingdom Hearts.
I'm building into it.
All right, build it up.
And then all of a sudden out of left field, because Square Enix wanted to make some dough because they were trying to talk about Advent Children and remodeling Cloud and Sephiroth, all of a sudden Squall's in the middle of the game from Final Fantasy VIII. But he's going by Leon. No, he's not going by Leon. Yeah, he's Leon at the time, and Rihanna. And then all of a sudden you're talking about, here's Cloud fighting Sephiroth and how broody everybody is, which Cloud's pretty broody. He's a whiny guy.
Okay, where's this building up to, though?
It's absolutely random with no tangibility, and it's introducing
I knew it. I knew you weren't building up to it. No, we're not talking about Kingdom Hearts. We're talking about just the mashup. The concept of a mashup.
You're literally taking multiple universes and storylines, destroying the storyline to introduce your own universe and storyline. So, while...
What's wrong with that?
It destroys the original storyline.
You don't have to hold it like the Holy Bible, man. It's just a story.
No, it's more than a
How
story.
do you feel about when freaking DC fights Marvel? Like, these are two different universes. Like, you go with the comic book explanation. It's Marvel? A different universe.
When did DC verse Marvel?
I mean, we could talk about that on the comic book podcast, but that happens.
Okay, so
it happens. I promise you. So occasionally, once in a blue moon, or at least once. I know it happened at least once. Deadpool breaks the fourth walls multiple times. Blah, blah, I'm just saying. So, like, what's so bad about a mashup? If you just take it as it is, it's just two worlds coming together. It's like DC versus Mortal Kombat or whatever it was.
Okay.
It doesn't have to make sense. It's just fun.
No, DC versus Mortal Kombat had a solid storyline that didn't interact with an actual storyline that was going on in either of the universes. It was literally, there's a tear in the rift, and all of a sudden they had to save the world, blah, blah, blah. Fighting games, minimal story, zero interaction based on the story and destroying a story. I think Square Enix and Disney mashing up had a huge conflict of story, and they were just trying to build something that made money, and they did.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point. But I mean, it's still fun to see, different characters coming together in a game.
Make Smash Brothers, make Guys, make a game where they can, or Mario Kart.
So at the expense of a story, then you take out the story, and then you're allowed.
1,000% of anything supporting multiple characters crossing in their own storyline that does not have any correlation with anything else in a universe that already exists. Yes.
All right, so you hear that, Nintendo? You got to get through Brandon first.
Hi, I'm just going to sit on the board, and I'm just going to let you guys know if you want somebody solid to shoot down an idea before you go ahead and let some other publisher mess with your IP, talk to me.
Anyways.
By the way, send me the hate mail. I'm down for it.
Brandon is keeper of the canon.
Yeah. That's a great nickname. Keeper of the Canon. All right, let's talk about a game that came out that is not a mashup. They want to say it as a rebranding, a remake, but honestly, this game has nothing to do with the original. It's got aliens, that's it, and it is called Prey. It is amazing. I bought it. I played it it came out on Cinco de Mayo. I played it for 11 hours, and then today I played it for another 5 hours. So in 2 days, I've sunk 16 hours in this game. It is honestly, as much as I loved Horizon Zero Dawn, which I absolutely adore that game.
Couldn't tell you about the story, though.
Story didn't care. This one, everything that went into that game, the gameplay, the story, everything, makes this game my favorite game of the year already. And I highly doubt anything is going to come out for the rest of the year that I'm going to love more than this game.
I feel you said that before about Horizon.
I didn't say those words. I wasn't that confident, but I said it was the contender for Game of the Year. This game comes out, and it just came out of freaking nowhere. I mean, okay, so people were playing the demo. People were got early access, at like E3 last year or whatever. They got their hands on it, and they can kind of see that something amazing was going to happen. But I'm telling you, when you're playing this game, like it's taken so many different aspects of just what a video game can be. Like, I wouldn't call it first-person shooter. It is, but I wouldn't call it that. It's almost like BioShock, but even BioShock was more shooter than this. Every move you have to make, you have to calculate, how you're going to tackle these situations. It's almost like BioShock meets Resident Evil, because there's also inventory management, and you have to really, you have to think about every shot you're taking. You have to think about every upgrade that you're giving yourself.
So, almost like BioShock meets Uncharted.
Uncharted?
Yeah. Uncharted's very inventorialized, and very much you have to plan where you're going and stuff like that.
I mean, maybe just because you're getting shot at a lot, but no, this is more specifically you are not. I mean, you're powerful. You can see. Okay, so you can get two types of abilities. You can get normal human abilities, and you can get alien abilities.
Because you're an alien.
And then the only way to get, they're called neuromods. The only way to get these abilities is you take this thing that's like the shape of a water bottle, and it has little needles, and you just shove it right in your eye.
Okay.
Just
that
like that.
That's nice.
I like that. That's
so the thing is, the more human ones you do, it's stuff like your health. There'll be stuff like hacking or strength. No consequence. But the fun ones, the alien ones, that give you things like you can mimic, you can turn into a trash can, you can turn into whatever, you can have psychic abilities, telekinesis, all these really fun things. The more...
So you can turn into a trash can, like you can hide in a cardboard box?
Yeah.
What use does that serve in the game?
So, a lot of these giant enemies, like there's this thing that chases you once you get about halfway through the game, called a nightmare, which is very appropriately named because it is a giant, scary freaking beast that is just overpowered and can kill you super quick.
Is it a flaming horse?
No.
Okay.
So you can you could run around the corner, break line of sight, and then turn into a cup of coffee, and then just sit there and wait for it to go away.
What if he comes and drinks you?
Then you'll probably die.
What if a security guard came and drank you?
Then you'll probably die. You don't fight security guards. You're only fighting mimics. So
does it have any way to find you, or is it just completely safe?
That's actually the problem. Is I've played with one alien ability, and I picked it up in a situation where it was just kind of an emergency situation. I was in this room and I ran out of ammo, and I needed this thing that was on the other side of the room. I had no ammo, and I'm like, I don't know what to do right now. So in a pinch, I got this ability that lets me shoot out these psychic balls, and it pushes enemies away. So I'm like, I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to, just push everybody away as I'm going towards my objective. And every ability that you get that is an alien ability gets you closer and closer to getting attacked by the turrets that are set up in this base, because the turrets are set up to kill the aliens. So the more alien you become, then eventually you start pissing them off. I've been using those turrets. I want to use those turrets. I'll set them up, I'll bring them with me to every single room. I love these turrets. I don't want to get to that point. And also throughout the whole game, because, you find out story through emails, through audio logs, which is the first time ever I'm actually caring about that kind of stuff. They're kind of saying hey, we really shouldn't be doing this alien neuromod stuff because it's making us into aliens. If you do it too much, you'll probably become an alien, and the aliens are the bad guys. You're putting the aliens in your body. You shouldn't do that. So, but it's so much fun, though. That's the problem. So you're sitting there and you're like, I really want these abilities, but I probably shouldn't. So I've been staying true, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But
so that's
my second playthrough probably will.
Good and evil on Fable.
I mean,
right now you're playing quote unquote good because
I'm sure there's a balance, and I'm sure there's no consequence, but I kind of feel like there's going to be something at the end of the game, and this isn't based off anything. This is just my own theory. I think at the end of the game, it's going to do something with how much you used alien technology, how much alien you have in your body. Like it'll put you at a disadvantage, or you'll get maybe not as good of an ending or something like that.
Oh, multiple endings. I like that idea.
You know,
maybe like because you become too much of an alien, you get killed at the end, or you fly away.
Exactly. Because the whole thing is, at the very beginning of the game, they said, hey, well, actually, no, that's a spoiler. I can't really say that.
Sounds exciting. Interesting.
So you said the alien stuff is mostly based on time powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if
that's the
best
aliens
are really just people that have used too many alien powers?
Well, no, they know the source of the aliens. The aliens are
from the future.
Yeah, just
well, they traveled like millions and millions and millions of light years. But they are like basically masters of time. So traveling that far felt like 60 seconds to them. In fact, when they mimic something, they don't just copy the DNA of something and then they turn into it. They create an alternate timeline of that same object, become the object in that alternate timeline, then phase into our timeline. And basically, it's two of the exact same object. It's not just like copied. This is the exact same object in two different timelines existing in the same one. And when they move and everything, like, you know, they'll dart across the room. It's not that, oh, this is super fast. No, it's just moving through time. I mean, it's that kind of stuff. I mean, that story, knowing that as I'm fighting these guys, I'm like I want to learn everything. You know, I'm reading every audio.
I wonder how you would feel if you actually learned some of the story of Horizon Zero Dawn.
I started. I mean, I was trying, and I just didn't care. I didn't care. But this kind of stuff, I mean, it's simple enough. That's the thing. I want to talk
about the really cool thing that you showed us.
These nuts?
The crossbow that shoots Nerf guns.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, you're just running around with the crossbow.
That's another great thing about this game is the puzzle solving. So there's two things I want to talk about. I'm going to write down the other thing just so I don't forget. So one of the weapons you get in the game is a Nerf crossbow. Boom. And it doesn't do any damage. It can be used for basically two things. One, to get the attention of an alien. Be like, hey, and then you just shoot it in the butt, and it doesn't hurt it, but it's like, oh, I see you there, and then you can lead it into a trap. The other thing is it can interact with objects in the game. So most doors, actually I think all doors, have a manual override switch. If you need a key card or you need a keypad or something like that to get into the room, there's a manual override switch that you can just hit, and it'll open the door. So if you can find a window with a line of sight to that, you can break the window and then use your little Nerf dart. Or let's say you need to access a computer that will open the door, you can hit the touchscreen computer from a distance with a Nerf gun. And that's not even the only way to get into that room. There's so many solutions to every problem. You know, there is a key card out there for that room. It is somewhere, and you'll eventually find it, I'm sure. But you know, if you can figure out a clever way to get into that room early, then you know it kind of rewards you for thinking outside the box. The second thing is, and this is my favorite part, so you fabricate things like ammo, grenades, medkits, all this stuff, and you need materials. And you know, you find things like frayed wire. It's kind of like Fallout 4 style, like, you know, you scavenge. And then you put it into a recycler and you get your basic materials. So there is a grenade called a recycler grenade that if you throw, it will suck in everything near it and then throw out basic materials. So if you threw that in, in front of a bunch of plants, it'll suck those in, and then it'll spit out little balls of organic matter. And then you pick that up, and then you can use that to craft in the fabricator. So I really needed metal, because metal's how you make ammo. You can make neuromods, you can make all this stuff. So I went around this room, and I picked up every table, every chair, every beaker, and I just piled it in this corner. And I'm saying, this pile was freaking high, and you stand back and the physics are pretty decent. Like, it's not bad. The pile's so high, and then I just threw the grenade in there, and I got all the metal I could want. And it didn't punish me for my ingenuity, you know, like I was thinking outside the box. You know, normally you just throw a grenade in a populated place and then it'll, you know, do whatever. But like I actually used the physics and brought everything together. You know, it rewards you for stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, sounds pretty cool. I got a couple questions about it. You talk about how ammo is pretty scarce and everything. What stops you from just pumping up like your wrench ability so that you don't even have to worry about the scarcity of that? Does it do a good job of making you feel weak the whole game, or is there a point where you just become, like most games, super powerful, so nothing is just a big deal anymore?
The really strong part is when you use your alien abilities. Like, that's the overpowered part. There are so many different abilities that they have that can make you, like, you can do a bunch of really cool stuff. But then it makes it also more difficult because turrets are now trying to fight you. Like, everything is trying to fight you.
But if you turn into a teacup, the turret can't find you.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can upgrade your wrench. I think it only goes up to 75% extra damage. I mean, it's not that weak, but you still have to get in somebody's face to hit them with it, so it's kind of hard to do that. The one thing, before I forget also about this game, is the load times are so freaking bad. It is god-awful. It takes forever, but there's a good reason.
The maps are huge.
I mean, there's that.
Ability.
Anytime, like, let's say I didn't throw that grenade in that pile, and I just left it stacked there. For the rest of the game, those items will remain stacked. And the map is huge. It's a huge base. Every time you walk into an area, it saves everything you do, in that area. If you bump into a chair, if you clear that room of all the materials, it will stay like that for the rest of the game. And I think that's super cool.
So Horizon also does that in a similar way. Like, things stay. In case you haven't seen it yet, there's actual a GIF of the vision or the view. So what they did is the map's there, but the only thing that actually renders is what's in your line of sight at any time.
Yeah.
To minimize the load time. And so what it sounds like with Prey leaves literally everything there the whole time, and that's why it takes longer to load.
Oh. Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, it's still like, it's god awful load times, but it's still a lot of fun.
And then, second thing, I mean, if these aliens are so powerful, why are you able to kill them? Like, I mean, if they can control time, why aren't they just like reversing time or?
I mean, they're not.
Do any sort of explanation?
Because that breaks the story.
No, it's not that. I mean, they're extremely powerful, but you have a protective suit on. You are as a player, you are going around using, your smarts to outsmart them, because that is the best way to defeat them. They're still limited by. It's not like they can just go back and forth in time. They have time. They can manipulate time, but it's not like they're just like the masters of time.
Okay. Just to pick on the flaw of that, you have to use your smarts to outwit them.
You know what I mean.
If they are the masters of time...
No, I said they're not the masters of time.
Oh, okay, correction. Sorry. They have the ability to manipulate time, so they're pretty smart. So...
Not necessarily, no.
If we're...
In fact, their brains aren't really... processed. Their brains don't work like ours. They basically only consume. They're kind of like a virus. They're a walking virus.
Oh, okay.
So they're not that smart.
But
they're very powerful. Yeah. I mean, it's a freaking amazing game. I hope there's going to be lots of sequels, and there's going to be. The story, everything that goes into it. How do they go
different from the first?
Well, that's the thing. Like, nothing. Nothing is. It has nothing to do with the first one.
You start off as a Native American and get abducted by an alien ship somehow, and you're up.
There's nothing. This has nothing to do with Prey. I feel like, or the original Prey. I feel like this is just a game that they made, and they're like, okay, well, you have an amazing game, but you don't have anything to make people want to buy it. So why don't we just call it Prey?
Did you also, random but somewhat tangible, did you hear about the indie game that was asked by Ubisoft to change their name because it started with the title Prey?
Yeah.
And they're like, we have Prey coming out. Can you please just change it so that you're not using the same title?
I mean, that's fine.
No.
All right.
That's like saying, please don't make The Last Guardians because we have The Last Colossus.
Anyways, I highly recommend Prey to anybody. I mean, it's a fantastic game. Let's move on because I just checked the time. Wow, we are going late again. We're going to move on to the stolen viewer questions that I was going to do last week. If you guys have any questions you want to ask us in chat, or if you are listening to this later, you can send your questions to facebook.com/downrightfiercegaming. Right? That's the right thing, right?
That's right.
Yep, that's right. You can send your questions to us and we'll answer them. But since we don't have any questions right now, I'm going to use questions that I stole from another podcast. Our first one's going to be, what games make you guys rage quit the most?
The final boss of Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So that entire game was one of my favorite ones to just sit down and play through. There was multiple times where I got pissed off and I would just slam the controller. Like, Microsoft 360 controllers were the best controllers out there for taking a good beating. I will say that over and over again. And Ninja Gaiden definitely thoroughly tested that. And the final boss. I've never completed that game still to this day. I've watched 4 different ways on how to beat him and tried it once, and then I never touched the game again. It might also be because my neighbor knocked over my 360 and put a red ring of death in the disc, and I never wanted to pick it up since. But regardless.
Wait, red ring of death on the disc?
Or not red ring of death. It's
but
just
like
the ring of death on the disc. It literally
it burns. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So,
what about Tristan?
What I can think of immediately at hand is Dark Souls. Not so much rage quit as just need to walk away. Yeah. I've never been one to really throw stuff.
It took me 4 days to get past the first level, and I still had to play that game all the way through. I love that game.
I was gonna say like Bloodborne for me. It wasn't that. I mean, it was angry. It was. I knew eventually I was gonna rage quit. I got to this one part and I'm just like, screw it. I didn't say screw it, but I threw the controller. I'm like, I'm done. That's it. No more. No, I'm done with this game. Don't want to play anymore. I'm done.
Not Dark Souls.
Let's go on to who is your favorite villain in a video game? Voss, Far Cry 3, easily, 100% favorite villain.
I honestly can't even think of it.
Yeah. Nothing? Okay, well, Voss wins. What is the best fruit?
What is your best fruit?
What is the best fruit? No, just best fruit.
What is the best fruit?
Best fruit. No, that's just the question. Best fruit.
Oh, bananas.
Bananas?
They go with everything.
Peaches, I would say.
Millions of peaches?
Yeah.
Peaches for free?
I'd say, kumquats.
Just because you like the word.
No. My grandma used to have a kumquat tree in the backyard, and I love sour things. And it's basically like warheads, but in fruit form. I love kumquats. They're super sour.
It smells like rhubarb. It's not a fruit, but it's...
Is it sour?
Oh, it's incredibly... It's tart. It's not sour.
I like sour. I'll try it.
Okay.
Next one is, if you could exist in any video game world, which world would it be? I'll tell you, it wouldn't be Prey for me. I'm going to do that one. Dot hack. Yeah, okay. That's a good one. Tristan? Actually, you know what? I think I would say Prey, even though all those aliens are there, because the Fabricator is so cool. It's you put materials in there, and it just makes whatever you want.
That should have been a question. What's your favorite item from a game?
Okay.
Or what would your item of choice
Portal
be?
gun.
Portal gun?
Yeah, portal gun.
Instantly.
I like the cerebral boar from Turok.
Oh my. That's a fun one to play with. Next one is, what is a game you regret never playing? Final Fantasy VII for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really, because I tried, I went back, and I'm like,
you'll have the opportunity to play it. It's not going to be the same, but it's going to, from what they're promising, be 1,000 times better with more expansions.
Sweet.
If you want to talk about a game you should be upset about, that's being sold as chapters.
Oh, yeah, I know about that.
So, I'm okay with it. I still think it's a good idea because they're going to be expanding so much on it. The one game that I regret not playing...
Tristan?
Come back, yeah.
I would say in the same vein, any Final Fantasy. I have not played a single one.
I think for you it needs to be Far Cry 3, for both of you.
Oh, no.
Seriously. Far Cry 3.
I'm okay.
It's so good.
I'll have to try it.
So you got anything? All right, defaults to Far Cry 3.
Far Cry 3, sounds good.
Now, the last one's interesting. Do you feel like now that you're older, you're not as good as you used to be in gaming? Before you guys give an answer, I want to point out something really interesting. You're never, ever going to see a 30 plus, I'd say. Oh, man, let's just say 35. You're never going to see 35 and older MLG player. Ever. The reason why is they've done studies on this, and your reaction time is at its peak in your 20s, and then it starts to go down, and just those fractions of a second that you need in those kinds of things mean that you'll just never, you don't have the ability to be better than a 20-year-old and younger at those games.
I mean, I can see that being true for like a Twitch game, like not like Twitch.
No, I know what you mean.
Like Counter-Strike. Yeah,
but I mean MLG, any kind of,
isn't around anymore, so I can see
but you know what I mean, like any kind of competition game like that where you need fast reflexes.
Oh, in a reaction base, yes, but I mean,
what about like strategy-wise?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna
even like StarCraft, the clicks and doing all the tiny little things that they have to do with those games.
I mean, there's
Okay, well, card games. Yeah, I'll give you card games, but but games where you require
again,
fast
games that
reaction
aren't
time.
mechanically intensive. Yeah, I could see.
Okay, well, do you feel that now that you're older, you're not as good as you used to be in gaming?
If Bruce Lee played video games, I bet you'd take that back.
I don't even understand. I got nothing.
Bruce Lee was one of the master of reflexes.
Okay. So now we are going to move on to what are we playing? Playing Prey. Oh, and I'm playing. If you have a PlayStation, and PlayStation Plus, Tales from the Borderlands, and another one that I don't care about as much as Tales from the Borderlands. Abzu. So I beat Abzu. It was good. Wasn't a 10. It got a 10, I think, but I don't know. It was good.
It was good.
But Tales from the Borderlands is so good. It's so freaking funny. Oh my god. I love it.
I've tried 3 of the Tales of, and not a huge fan of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I won't pick it up.
No, try it. It's free. At least add it to your library. There's no point in not adding these games to your library.
True.
It is the best of the Telltale games.
It absolutely
is. Most of them, and that one is above and beyond the best. So,
okay.
I would give it a try.
I'm still playing Wonder Boy. Nintendo Switch game, $20. Pick it up, have fun. You play the platformer you've always wished you can play since Castlevania.
What about you, Tristan? What are you playing?
Still split my time between Overwatch and Persona.
Persona.
I feel like I'm never going to get to Persona. That's going to be, in about a year, that's going to be the game I regret never playing.
I actually saw it at GameStop, and the collector's edition, was not expecting to see it, almost picked it up, and I still talked myself out of it. I'm feeling really shameful about that.
All right, now we're going to move on to Video Game 20 Questions. That is where I have picked a game. Here it is right here. And these two jokesters got to guess it by asking yes or no questions. And I will say yes or no, or sometimes, or I don't know, or give me a second while I look this up. So, start.
Was it published?
Released.
For January 1st, 2000.
Yes.
It's an old school.
Is it an RPG?
Nope.
Is it a platformer?
Nope. And usually you guys are good with the first couple of questions. That was a whole bunch of nopes.
That's not true. It was only 2 nopes.
A no is
that
still
was
a good
3
answer.
no. Well,
we've asked
that was 3
questions.
nopes. You got 3 no's.
How did we get 3 no's?
It's like so when you were single and dating and asking girls out, just a whole bunch of no's.
Did we really ask 4 questions already?
You asked 3.
Well, the first question was it before, and you said yes.
Oh, I did?
You did. And
okay, well, yeah, no, it's before. Yeah, I mean, it is before.
Okay.
I thought you said after. Okay, well, you got 1 yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. I appreciate it. So hateful today.
I'm going to count that as 4 because you asked me. No, I'm joking.
I asked you to confirm.
Yeah, you asked me to confirm.
All right. So.
Is there driving in it?
Absolutely not. That's 4.
That's 4. Okay. Was it on the NES?
Nope.
Oh, damn.
That is
I kind of went way too generic there right off the get-go.
Do you play as a human?
Yes. You do play as a human.
Is it multiplayer?
Yes. There is multiplayer. There exists multiplayer.
Okay. Huge Q.
Is it a first-person shooter?
Yes. Here we go. It's getting juicy. Getting juicy.
Or was it an exclusive?
Yes.
Okay.
It was an exclusive when it came out, which is kind of the assumed thing, I guess, but just to make sure we're clear.
Was it an American producer? Or designer, publisher, creator?
Developer?
Developer.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
All right, so that's 10.
Was it for the PC?
Yes. Uh-oh.
Was it a shooter based on World War?
No.
Okay.
That's 12. Hold on, guys. Hold on. The record is 14? 13.
Right,
see, I mean, you could tie for the record. I don't throw this away for the record. But you're very close.
Okay, so we know it's a shooter. We know it's an older shooter.
That was exclusive to the PC.
We know it's not World War. So it could be Counter-Strike. It could be...
You said there is multiplayer.
There is multiplayer.
There exists multiplayer.
Yep. Counter-Strike did not have a story.
I mean, I don't want to burn a question, but is there going to be a new release in the IP soon?
I mean, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't. No. So, probably no. Probably no. Most likely no.
Quake, but it doesn't sound like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Quake. Oh yeah, Quake did have a story.
Wait, why are you focused on the story thing so much?
Well, because
you said multiplayer was a component.
So
not that it was multiplayer focused.
Okay, well,
Well, to be fair, you can play single player against AI.
Okay, I mean I'm not saying it doesn't or it doesn't, or it does or it doesn't. I just don't remember saying anything about story. So.
Okay.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Is there a story mode?
What do you mean by story mode?
Is there a Half-Life concept to it? Is there a
is there a narrative story?
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Okay, so it's
not narrative story. Although that's a very broad question. As you would, looking back on this game, you would not say that it has a narrative story. I mean,
does it take place on Earth?
No. You got this. Come on. That's 15. You got this now. You got this.
Could be Unreal. It could be Quake. It could be...
I mean, I'm feeling...
Doom?
Yeah, that's what...
Like, I feel Doom, but the only reason why I don't feel Doom
I feel Doom.
Doom had a... Well, the re-release of Doom had a narrative.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the re-release.
So, do you want to just jump straight to Doom, or do you want to ask if it's been re-released in the last 5 years? Is it Doom?
I don't burn a... Because that's the thing. When you guess a game and you get it wrong, then you lose.
True.
Yeah.
Has it been re-released in the last... Or
well, not re-released.
Has it been remade? That would be...
yeah.
In the last 5 years is when Doom came out, right?
It came out last year.
Yeah, I was going to say that was...
Wasn't there a Doom that came out right before that, too? Doom 3?
That was way long ago, yeah.
So yeah, has it been re-released in the last year?
Yes.
Yeah. So piss off. For making this
it didn't. Hey, and right though, that doesn't have a narrative story. It's
the original did not.
It does have levels, but it's not.
I mean, it has levels. It's single player, and there is story there. I mean, it even opens telling you what the story is, and you kind of go through this thing, and you find the story through the action. But there's no narrative story.
We are now the champions of 20 questions.
Yeah, I got to make these more difficult.
Fantastic film with The Rock in it as well.
Chris loves that one.
I would say that it was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't.
I never saw it.
An amazing Doom story, but then again, Doom didn't have a story at the time, so it really was.
Right. Well, there was a story. There was a story. There was a base that was, taken over by That's all right, so that does it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening. If you're listening to our podcast, we release new episodes every Monday. I was gonna say there's no starting at. It's just sometimes it's really early on Monday, sometimes it's later Monday. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and Stitcher. You can watch live streams if you're doing that right now. Thank you for watching. On our Facebook page, facebook.com/downrightfiercegaming. That happens sporadically. We're working on a schedule. That'll happen eventually. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/downrightfierce. If you kick us just $2 a month, you get access to all of our videos that we make. I made a really awesome one with 4 of us playing the kitchen demo VR. It's very, very funny. I'm very proud of it.
Donate money. We need better chairs.
Yeah, these guys need better chairs.
We're sitting on stools.
It's true.
Wooden stools are terrible.
That is the next place the money is going to go into. And also by contributing $2, you get thanked at the end of the episode. So we would like to thank Mark Mayfield. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
And thank you, Jeff Knight. We'd also like to thank Brian Altano and Damon Hatfield for the music that they let us use for the
Although it wasn't in this episode, right?
Oh yeah, I guess Damon Hatfield no longer thank you because I made my own. I made our own theme song. But Brian Altano, even though this episode the music wasn't working, that happens. Anyways, also thank you to our executive producers, Brian Kaminsky and Andrew Kirkendall. Thank you, guys.
Face kicker.
Make sure you check out our merchandise. You don't have to buy it. Just look at it. Just check it out.
Shirt. I'd like to see.
Nobody's bought. I bought one shirt. All right,
I'll go buy a shirt.
Yay!
But
100%.
Somebody else buy the shirt, send a picture, just so we can say, hey, we got fans that actually buy shirts.
If you buy a shirt and you take a picture with it, it will absolutely go up on our wall. And I'll tell you what, we'll just thank you at the end of every episode, anyways.
Yeah, why not? You can get special privileges.
That goes to the first person that does that, and then after that, we'll just post your picture. Anyways, so yeah, that is at teespring.com/downrightfiercegaming. There's sweaters, even though it's summer. There's V-necks, not V-necks, tank tops for the summer.
What about crew cut? We got crew cut shirts.
What is that?
That's what you're wearing right now.
Oh yeah, we got that. We got that. You can also check us out on Twitter at DRF Podcasts, twitch.tv/DRF Podcasts.
Which I'll actually be twitching sometime next week after I get into my new house.
Very cool. And then finally, again, we release new episodes on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and Stitcher. Please rate us. Please rate us.
Yes.
With a hard T because you want to make awkward jokes.
I was going to say the Nirvana joke, but no.
It helps. Just give us a little 5-star. Or 4. I mean, hey, if you don't feel like we deserve the 5-star, I understand.
Give us a 5-star with some hard quotes telling us what we need to improve on. But always give us 5 stars.
There you go.
If we get less than a 5-star, we get fired.
That's true. I'll fire everybody and I'll just sit here and I'll talk to nobody.
And nobody wants to hear him talk for hours about nothing.
Seriously, I don't even want to. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to be me? Anyways, that does it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, go call your mother.